Tommy, you must be a little bit sad, a little bit excited. Bittersweet's the term. Is that how it feels now this period is over for you?
Yeah, look, I'm definitely excited for the challenges ahead. But I'm sad to believe in a lot of people who I've made great friendships with and who I will always, I always owe, especially the club here. Like, it's a special club with special people.
You haven't done it the easy way, and the easy way being play 400, 500 Prem games, be a rusted on international for 100 tests and get jackknifed straight into a coaching role as a scrum coach if you're a front rower. You haven't gone that route, if you will. You have quite literally, like players, gone from academy to senior academy to development to senior, now to international. Take me back to 2017 and you joined what was then the DPP at Leicester Tigers.
Yeah, so I met a guy called Jamie Taylor, who is a close friend and mentor me now with some of my coach development, and he brought me on board to coach the DPP at Newark. I think I was coaching, my first group I coached there as under 14s maybe was Mecca, Sammy Edwards, Archie Vaines and those players. So coaching through them, and that was just kind of helping out. And then there was a role that came up at Brooksby College, had to join the academy, so I joined that pathway there and continued to coach the academy through that spell, and then ultimately was given opportunities to progress the pathway like players do, and just made sure that I was ready for when the opportunity came to showcase myself.
And then, unlike many, you kind of have COVID to thank, because COVID comes along, everyone's sent home. We all eat too much, drink too much, meaning you and I. And then quite literally, Steve arrives and says, I want Matt Smith and Tom Harrison in as well, shadowing what is at the time Rob Taylor and Boris Stankovic. That season finishes up, and almost overnight, you are quite literally handed the senior scrum coach role of a team which includes Dan Cole, Tom Youngs, Julian. What was that like, that call?
So yeah, it was probably 24 hours before the first day of pre-season. So Boris, obviously he made a decision that was right for him, and he obviously thought long and hard, but it was a late decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a bit of excitement and worry, but I can't thank Tom Youngs and Dan Cole enough in the way they supported me and challenged me, and Ellis getting to that fact as well.
Yeah.
Going, actually, this is how we're going to do it, and we created a shared mental model of this is the way I think we should scrum, this is the way Leicester scrummage, and how can we combine it to be successful in the scrum. And they were brilliant in that transition period and in listening to me, but helping guide me as well, especially on some of the stuff where I would go, let's do more, and the physically demanding scrummaging is just helping me understand that stuff. And I think, and Steve as well, in terms of allowing me the opportunity to shadow Boris, to be in and around the environment, so that the transition was almost seamless.
There's kind of different kind of coaches. Some yell and scream and point and say this is it, no other way. Some are partners, collaborative. Are you the latter? Were you the latter throughout that time?
I think it depends on what players you have. So if you've got players with over now 100 caps in the British and Irish Lions, and it would be wrong of any coach just to shout at them and this is the way we do it, when actually their idea could be an improvement of yours. So it's a collaboration, but obviously you have to understand this is the way we're doing it, and you have to be held accountable to what you do. But yeah, if I was to come in and go, hey lads, this is what we're doing, well, I think they would laugh me out of the room.
This might seem unfair, but were there any times where you thought, I'm not the right person for this job, I'm not the most experienced person, maybe I don't know enough? And let's be honest, it's Leicester Tigers too, where there's probably 3 important shirts and then 12 blokes there to support them. That's kind of the rule.
I think I spoke to a coach last week. he is going to his 7th World Cup, and he said to me, if you don't have some doubt in what you're doing, and then you're probably in the wrong place. And I was sitting there being like, you look at all your jobs you do, you go, yeah, probably there's a point there. Like, you have to have the confidence in what you're doing, but you're going to be doing stuff that you go, everything is the modern day world, there's always that little bit of imposter syndrome in you. Oh, should I be here? But you just got to make sure that you're clear on what you're trying to achieve, and you stay on the path, and you work hard to get there. You don't get dragged off into the mud. But yeah, look, there's definitely moments I was going, wow, I didn't see this coming. But again, the coaches around me, the players I have, been very supportive and challenging throughout that.
Those 3 years in that senior role, they were all upward kind of trajectories, if that makes sense, from the European improvements, obviously the Premiership success, and then yes, the semi-final defeat, but still what's gone on this season, and you look back, those 3 years have been a hell of a journey, right?
Yeah, and it's not been smooth.
No.
You've had ups and downs the whole way. But I think last year was extremely special to get to the final and win it. I think this year's is special in its own right. It's different. Obviously, it's disappointing the way the story finishes. But the way I think the coaches and the players held themselves in difficult times has been outstanding. There's been some brilliant memories along the way. I remember, if I go back to the final and you're standing there, and I named 2 players. There's Ollie Robinson and Tom Cowan-Dickey, and they're 2 guys I've known since I was 16. And you're sitting there at Twickenham having won, and they played their part in. They might not play the final, but they played their part, and you go in. I didn't see this coming. When I think I've known Ollie since he was 8 years old, and didn't see that coming. And then you look at the pitch again and you go, well, you've got Georgie Martin, JVP, Wally Chesham, Freddie Stewart, and those players. You go, I've known those lads since they were 16, and I've coached them through here, and I've helped in some parts big parts, some parts small parts, them to achieve a special memory. And you go, that was a memory I'll always remember.
When you look at those guys, are there guys is there anyone in particular you see as a real success story for you? I know you won't want to take credit, if you will, but if you get my drift, is it someone like George Martin, where you go, I've literally been there from Brooksby?
So I think you're right, you can't take credit. Those players work hard, incredibly hard, and your role is to provide them the best opportunity, and coach them as well as you can for them to take those opportunities and grow and become great. I've obviously worked with George for a number of years. We definitely had our ups and downs in relationships. A lot of the stuff with him is just around some of his professional behaviours. So George is a player who came through, and he was touted to be a huge superstar. Everything was almost every YouTube clip was of George Martin, and every coach wanted to coach him the rugby side of it, and I took it on me to go, okay, how do you coach him almost the professional side of it? And probably haven't been as successful as I needed to be with that bit, but I've been working hard on that stuff.
Is that why he has the beard?
Probably why he has the beard.
Tell me about the decision to join England, because I remember at the time when you accepted it and it was announced, and we spoke then, and it was genuinely hard for you to not necessarily walk away from Leicester Tigers, but decide to go on to the next challenge.
Yeah. So, look, I'll forever be grateful to this club and the opportunities this club and the people this club have given me. But an opportunity to coach your home country doesn't come around too often. And it's an opportunity where I've gone, okay, well, I need to put my best foot forward for me and my family, and you don't know when this job comes back around again. So I could sit here and go, oh yeah, this job's going to come around in 4 years' time, but you don't know that. So that's the time, right? And I think the other side of it, to join a coaching staff with Steve, Kev, Wiggy and Alid, it's something I couldn't really say no to. Some great people in that, and to join them on their journey was something I felt like I couldn't say no to.
When you think about the things you'll miss, the people, obviously, in-game interviews with BT Sport, which you love, what are those things you'll miss? What are those moments, or what are those specific sessions, days, events? What is it?
I think I'll miss the front row. The front row dinners I'll miss.
The bill must be phenomenal.
It's not cheap. Still trying to get back on expenses. I miss that. The probably like the pre-game stuff, if I'm honest. And it's not so much of the players, but the fans and the atmosphere. So if I go back to the Sale game, and we're outnumbered. Tickets were outnumbered. But as soon as the Sale chant's going and going, and then suddenly it gets quieter and quieter, and the Tigers chant just carries on going the whole way through. And it's that stuff. Like, this club probably has, no, it definitely has the best supporter base, and that's the stuff you'll miss. Those moments where you don't quite get the win, but they know you've put the effort in, and they still support you. They have your back. Yeah, they'll have opinions, but they'll come next week. And those moments when you get the win, and you look around. So I remember the final, the Montpellier final, and it was the second time we could have fans in. There's only 10,000 people, and I thought, wow, look at this, because it was green everywhere, and it was amazing. And that would have been one of my first experiences of actually coaching with fans, because obviously my first year was the COVID year. I'm going, wow, and you fast forward to a year, and we're on the bus going into the final, and you're looking out the window, and it was green everywhere, and you're going, this is a special club with special supporters.